Internet video watching people. I am Dave, husband of Holly and enjoyer of all things Usborne. With the holidays quickly approaching, some of you may be thinking about getting some Usborne books as gifts for your children. Of course, anytime a book is a gift, it is not just a gift for the child, but for the parent as well, because we will be reading these books with them. So, hey, wouldn't it be great if the gift was something that we enjoy as well? Now, I would say that to some degree all Usborne books are enjoyable, they're well made, but let's be honest, not all books are equal, and some are especially endearing and worth reading over and over and over again. So, this is me giving some, well, let's say this is going to be a dad's top list of Usborne books to get for your children so you can enjoy with your children. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the young kid end of the age spectrum. I'm a big fan of these muddle and match books. I'm going to tell you why. One, they can be as long as you want them to be. So, you know, it's not like some books where when you start reading with a little kid, you are in for the long haul and you are making a major time commitment. They aren't terribly long, but if you are really enjoying the particular reading section, you can mix and match you know, the different parts that you are reading, and so it can be as short or as long as you want it to be. The other thing that I really like about the muddle and match is that because you can kind of do this mixing and matching of the different story. Marvin the monkey blushes as she breathes and balances, paddling the precarious Pacific. So, as you can see, I'm kind of choosing from different pages to mix together. So, what this means is it does not have to be the exact same story every time. Okay, the other thing that I really like about these, let me bring it a little bit closer so you can see in more detail. The pages are nice and thick, and they are strong. As with all Usborne books, the binding very strong, and even with little kids, they are not going to be ripping pages. I don't have to worry about, you know, pages getting ripped or bent or anything. It is sturdy and great. So, muddle and match, and there's a bunch of different kinds. I'm a big fan of this one with the knights and the cowboys and space. Also, with my oldest, she really likes the one with like the mermaids and princesses and things like that. So, muddle and match, definitely on the list. Next, and let me see where I've got this, are the Illustrated Stories series. Now, this entire series is great. I love it. I mean, just to start off with, just holding these things is there's something pleasant about it. The covers have kind of a nice squish to it, like a tome bound in olden days, but they are just packed full, and I mean, lots and lots of pages, and the illustrations are really well done. Let me turn to a particular page here. So this one that we're looking at is the Illustrated Stories from the Greek Myths. And so here you can see this page where you have Theseus fighting the Minotaur, and I mean, the color bleeds all the way to the edges of the pages. Illustrations are really done. Another thing that I like about these, I get to show off my amazing voices skills. Old crone, new hero, hey, I can do it. So that's kind of fun with the kids. The other thing is, for anybody who's familiar with Greek myths, for example, not exactly G-rated, right? But Usborne does a really good job of keeping it true to the story, not, you know, just kind of Disneyfying, changing everything, but still keeping it family friendly. So I like that, and there's a bunch of different kinds. There's one that's the Wizard of Oz, for example. One that and this is true, I bought it for myself. I bought it without any intention of sharing with my children, but I got their Norse Myths which was quite an enjoyable read, and I did eventually share it with my kids too, after I had a chance to keep it for myself. Alright, then, so we've kind of gone with the younger age with the Muddle and Match, and then the illustrated stories, of course, you can start reading to them at a very early age, and they can, then start to read them themselves, and you can read with them as they get older. Also, speaking of getting older, I really, really enjoy a lot of the science books that Usborne makes. So they have a questions and answers series. So this one in particular is questions and answers about your body. But a lot of different science topics, and it's asking questions on the different pages, and like this one is broken out into, on one page is the when questions, and the where questions, and the how. So here you can see on the when, it's like, well, when do babies learn to walk? When do we learn to talk? When will I be as tall as someone else? Now, instead of a lot of books that have the questions on one page and then the answers are all the way in the back, and it's kind of a pain to find them, these are really cool because the answers are actually behind the flap, and so you can see the answers right there, and it's really neat. One of the things that I like about it, I'll be honest, is I let my kids quiz me, and I get to show them how smart their dad is. Of course, if I'm ever wrong, they get to feel really smart as they tell me what the actual answer is, and I get to learn something. So these are a lot of fun when it comes to learning and science. Also, going a little bit further up on the age spectrum, and they have science books that get really advanced. One is the illustrated, not illustrated, the Encyclopedia of Science, which I actually didn't bring with me. It's really thick. I'll show it during a future video. But the ones that I wanted to show right now are the Mysteries and Marvels series. So they, for example, one right here is the Mysteries and Marvels of Nature. Then they've got the Mysteries and Marvels of Science. So the things that I like about these is that they are factual, they've got a lot of pictures, but they also focus on the cool stuff in science, the stuff that's going to get kids excited about learning more. So, anyway, open it up, and they've got, let's just open up to anything, wings and legs, and it talks about some of the most extreme flyers in the insect kingdom. Confuse or defend talks about different types of defense within the mammals. So just a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of, once again, neat facts that you can kind of bond over as you learn them together, or maybe your kid tells you something cool about a fact that they learned, and you can expound on it. That's something that I take great pride in when they start saying, "Oh, Dad, did you know that, da-da-da-da?" I can say, "Yes, and, in fact," and we can talk more and more about that. In fact, just the other day we were driving home, and my daughter was reading this coding book, Coding for Kids, that Usborne makes, and so she was talking about binary and figuring out what different numbers are when represented in binary, and we got to talk about why computers think in binary, and so that was a fun little bonding moment. All right, the last one that I'm going to show, not exactly going in age order, but I just think it's really cool, so I wanted to save this one for last, is the Big Book of Big series. In this case, it's the Big Book of Big Monsters. I am a huge fantasy and mythological creature nerd, and so this is one that is very dear to my heart. There's also similar ones for like construction vehicles, trucks, and things like that. So what's neat about this, not only is the art really cool, which you can probably see from the cover alone, but when you open these up, you get to see some of the biggest of the big monsters and creatures, because when you open the pages, And I don't know if I'm even going to be able to fit all this on the screen. So, like, here's a whole page on dragons. It folds out, you can see it big. Let me flip a couple pages. I'll show you another one that I think is really cool. And that is, hold on, almost there. Alright, so now we're talking about trolls, ogres, and giants. You get to see some, cool facts about different monsters from different cultures all over the world. Some neat learning stuff. And then you really get a sense of the big, monstrous nature of these guys when you fold it out, and there they are in all their huge, monstrous glory. It's hard to get a sense of how cool this is just over a video, so I highly recommend getting the book and seeing for yourself how cool it is. Alright, so, once again, when you get books for your kids, it's great. And some books, the kids are just going to do on their own. Those sticker books, I let the kids do those. I don't have a mind for sticker books. But when it comes to books that I want to enjoy with my children, those are my top picks. So, real quick recap, the Muddle and Match series, all of the illustrated stories that they have, the Mysteries and Marvels, so Mysteries and Marvels of Nature, Mysteries and Marvels of Science, for example, the Lift the Flap Questions and Answers, great ways to learn, and the Big Book of Big, in this case, Monsters. Alright, so, enjoy the reading time with your children. I know I do. And when it comes to those books, happy hunting.